Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson Football Channel for 6 things that we learned from Manchester United 1, Chelsea 1. Not sure if there's going to be graphics on today's video, so apologies if there isn't. But this game was frustrating. It had like a big letdown hanging over it for me once the final whistle was gone, because Chelsea dominated Manchester United. The difference from let's say 95% of the field was that Chelsea are better than Manchester United until Chelsea have to have a conversion opportunity to actually score one of the many chances that were created, normally by the brilliance of Reece James, often by Mason Mount too. But Chelsea today just so profligate in front of goal. Opportunities where some of the balls that were coming in that just didn't even get a flipping toenail clipping on the end of it. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Marcos Alonso is inevitable. You know, when we need a goal and you're complaining about Chelsea's finishing, your left back usually is the one who actually finishes. I remember it countless times. Newcastle at home at Stamford Bridge a few years ago. I remember being there, and of course Alonso's going to finish one if it comes in on that sweet left foot of his. But I don't understand. As soon as Chelsea get towards actually finishing off what has been a lovely move, we can't do it. And to be honest, that is the overall difference throughout the entirety of the season. How many games have we drawn, whether it's 1-1 or something else, where you look at possession, you look at chances, shots, whatever, corners. How many corners did we have today? But no, it finishes 1-1. And to be honest, this kind of had like a mid-table clash at the end of the season, final game between 10th and 11th, and neither of them can move positions. It kind of had that feel about it. I've never in my life, even through the television, heard an atmosphere so flat at Old Trafford, because Man United knew that they don't have the quality in their team because of, injuries, to give them a bit of credit, but they don't have the quality to match Chelsea tonight. And that showed throughout the entirety of the game. But at this point in time in the Premier League, Chelsea are 6 points clear of Arsenal. We've got 5 games to go. I can't sit here with any kind of straight face and tell you that I'm dramatically concerned. After the draw, it felt like a draw. After the win against West Ham at the weekend, we kind of made it pretty clear that we're going to get the job done. But the longer it drags on, the worse I feel about it. And the more it's kind of like we're just stumbling over the line, which to me seems a bit pointless, considering there's probably some players in the squad who are playing to have to try and get a move away this summer. Or if Chelsea are going to spend big money in the summer, which could happen, there are some players who are trying to play their way into guaranteeing they can be part of something potentially special in the years to come. But it doesn't seem that way for some of them. For some it does, for some potentially not. But I want to begin box number 1. Whether it shows on the graphic or not, I'll put the player's face up on the screen. Reece James today is a blue box, because Reece James was absolutely magnificent here. And Chelsea, the fact we didn't win this game is almost unfair on Reece James. Reece James should have been given I don't know, this is going to sound ridiculous, but if this was like the Olympics, Reece James gets given a gold medal just because. You know, we feel like it's just got to be done, although it goes against the entire integrity of the sport. His crossing is absolutely magnificent. He's the only Chelsea player today who actually decided it was possible to even take on Manchester United players, which, by the way, wasn't that difficult. His ball control is immense. And I think that, you know, as much as Liverpool might win a quadruple this year, which will absolutely work in Trent Alexander-Arnold's favour, when history talks about the best right back in the world during the years of 2021 forward probably until 2030. We could absolutely foreshadow this. I just hope that people give Reece James the credit as a footballer that he deserves. Because, yeah, you might think Trent's a better right back, and unfortunately I have to bring this up because it's the best way I can explain him, because everyone in the world football right now who writes about football, talks about football, discusses football, has got Trent Alexander-Arnold up on a pedestal, that Reece James is certainly at least as good as. Unfortunately for Reece today, there was no one else ever on the end of any of the chances he creates. And it wasn't even, if a cross didn't go into the box, if a cross did go in the box, it was solid. If it didn't, it was a corner. So I put it on Twitter, Reece James on corners, 1 in 5 will probably directly go in the back of the net. Box number 2, across the other side of the field, it's a green box for Marcos Alonso. Scores Chelsea's goal. And again, we talk about Alonso and we say that he's got this bad game in him, that bad game in him. But I honestly think this season, Marcos Alonso is one of the unsung heroes in a way. Not a hero in the sense of he's actually done anything like Kai Havertz in Porto worthy heroic. But the consistency of Marcos Alonso's performances, I think maybe this season, correct me if I'm wrong here, and I've slated him at times this season, but I think his consistency with good quality performances, whether it's like game-changing or not, has probably been better than the majority of the seasons he's been at the club. And again today, Chelsea were very reluctant to take on Manchester United players. We were very reluctant to move the ball. Well, we moved the ball very well. It's just as soon as it got into the final third, we were so profligate, it was embarrassing. But Marcos Alonso's finish is wonderful. Up against his Spanish counterpart, David De Gea, scores Chelsea's goal. I just wish that, again, for him, there was more to show for it, because Chelsea deserved to win this game. But when you can't finish, you don't deserve anything. We move into box number 3, and it's a red for Kai Havertz. It's not the first time I've said this in recent games either. Chelsea's big chances, the ones I remember most, fell to him. He had a header inside the 6-yard box that he just hit straight at the body of David De Gea. Hits another one where the ball's played in very well by N'Golo Kante, and it hits David De Gea straight in the stomach and chest again. Kai Havertz, I think I've said this before, and I will say it again. I don't think Kai Havertz playing up front by himself is a sustainable model for Chelsea to build our future and to back Havertz solely as a striker by himself. I don't think it's going to work, because how many times have we had this conversation? And I think Kai Havertz's creativity is probably better than his finishing. If we're really looking to home in on the best parts of Kai Havertz's talent, please let me know if you think I'm wrong here. But I think his ability on the ball and his ability on the edge of the area whilst looking for the runs of overlapping Mason Mounts, Reece James's, that's where we can utilise Havertz better, in my opinion. I love Kai Havertz. I think he's brilliant. I think he's done a fantastic job through the middle to save Chelsea's season when the whole ordeal with Lukaku happened. And what did he come on and do again today? Nothing. Not a surprise. Not going to keep going on about it. But Havertz is a red. We move into box number 4. And I actually think that this could come across a little bit unfair. I've given a yellow to N'Golo Kante only for one reason. Because the goal, he gives the ball away twice in the build-up to the goal. One of them, it bounces off him. Another one, awful pass up forward. Other than that, let me say this. N'Golo Kante had a very good game, other than that. I think he was opening up the play in the middle. He was one of the reasons why Chelsea managed to get the ball out to Reece James so often. Because what Kante did, as opposed to Jorginho, was open up his body and try and go forward 10 or 15 yards, as opposed to just stunting the run or passing it sideways or waiting for somebody else to move. Kante was proactively doing that. I gave him a yellow because when you really narrow down the goal, it's a great finish from Ronaldo, but what do you expect when it lands at Cristiano Ronaldo's feet sitting up off the ground like that? He's always going to score. Of course he is. But Kante's pass, in the initial sense, it comes back to him. It kind of ricochets off his body. Not as sharp as he once was. Those things wouldn't have happened as consistently. But I don't want to fully slate him because he did have a decent game. Box number 5 is a green for Rudiger. Because obviously when things happen like it becomes public knowledge that you're leaving Chelsea despite everybody, fans, Tuchel, the board, whatever is left of it, still want you to stay at the club, and then you come out and it comes out you're going to Real Madrid, who just beat us in the Champions League. It leaves a sour taste in the mouths, the throats, the brains of all those involved. But what Rudiger did tonight once again is show that he is the consummate professional, that he knows that there is still a trophy to be won. There's another FA Cup to add during his time at Chelsea. And I thought tonight he was excellent. I think he got yellow carded, which is one of the only bookings of the game, but still, he was trying to distribute those 50, 60-yard passes to Reece James that were just fantastic. It allowed Chelsea to stretch the play, and because United weren't playing with confidence, they weren't closing down players quick enough or with enough quality. And I think Rudiger once again proves tonight that he is going to be such a difficult player to replace. We know we're going to have to replace him now. Who that's going to be, we'll continue to speculate. We'll continue to talk. We'll continue to discuss. But what a quality bloke. And I think in the last 5 league games of the season and the FA Cup final, 6 more matches left of Tony Rudiger, we've got to enjoy every last second of it. The passion, everything about him, I absolutely love him. And I understand why he's going to. But we move into box number 6. It is a overarching red box for finishing. Chelsea's finishing is the reason why we still haven't won at Old Trafford since Juan Mata, the birthday boy. Happy birthday, Mr. Juan Mata, Champions League hero, Chelsea legend. But we still haven't won at Old Trafford. And we're going to have to wait another season. And they're going to be better next season because Eric 10 signings is coming in. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Sorry this has been a bit of a 6 things we learnt video with no graphics as well. But it is what it is. Thank you guys for watching. Come on, you Blues.